Okay, I feel like I need to read on what would make you happy right now. Why aren't you happy? Why aren't you happy? Why aren't you happy? That's what keeps coming to me. Why aren't you happy? I'm getting a lot of that feeling that a lot of people aren't happy right now. People are effing stressed out. Like, I can feel it. I'm very empathic, and I can feel the energy of things easily. Maybe that's another reason why I'm so tired. Why aren't you happy? If you've come here for the first time, I'm Melissa, and you're on Postcards to the Universe. That is my channel. I talk about manifesting. I have a radio show where yesterday I had on a woman, Rachel Corpus, and she is an angel, and she has incarnated in this body as a human. And we talk all about that on the show. You can find that on my YouTube channel. But I'm feeling like people aren't happy, and they just, don't know why. Like, I mean, they know why in a way, but not really. Like, something deeper is going on. So why aren't you happy? That's the question. Let's ask that question. Why aren't you happy? Let's see if we can get some insights here on why you're unhappy. Is it because of money? Is it because of your health? Is it because of relationships? Is it, are you holding yourself back? Why aren't you happy? Why aren't you happy? Why aren't you happy? Why aren't you happy? How the hell do you get happy? Why aren't you happy? Why aren't you happy? Okay, I think that's good. I'm gonna cut it. Cut. Okay, let's see. All right, let's move this out of the way. Okay, why aren't you happy? Let's see what comes out. Two of Swords. Well, you're at a crossroads about something. Twos are about duality. Twos are about choice. You see how it's crossed in front of her chest, right? So you're at a crossroads about something in your life. You may have had some challenges. You may be thinking about, what direction to go in, but you haven't, just from this card alone, you haven't made a decision. You've got a couple of ideas floating around in your head, and you're at a crossroads about where to go. But let's see what that is about. Okay. It's about relationships. You have a broken heart. So you're at a crossroads about relationships. Okay. Yeah, and another two. And it's whether should I walk away or should I try to stay and make this relationship work? That's why you're not happy. Wow. I mean, these couldn't be any clearer, right? All right, so yeah, you are at a crossroads about whether you should walk away from this relationship or not. And I am, whatever this relationship is, it is a really important relationship. It's really important. Okay, there's a lot of love there. It could likely be romantic. It could be a marriage. It could be a partnership. You could be living with somebody, but it could also be a very, very dear friendship that maybe you've outgrown. It could be a relationship with a family member that has just become, too much for you to handle, and it could disrupt the family. But you are thinking very, very hard about which way to go in this relationship. Should you, it is the sword, should you cut it right off, right? Should you cut it right off? Because you've had your heart broken And it does, when we're heartbroken, it's not always by, a romantic partner. Your best friend could break your heart. They could betray you. A family member, a sibling, a parent, a child, they could break your heart. I mean, sometimes they even break your heart more than a romantic partner, right? And you are deciding moving forward how to handle that relationship. You haven't decided yet. You're looking ahead of you, and there's two different paths that you can take. You haven't decided which way you want to go yet, because there's a couple of options. It doesn't necessarily have to be cut them completely off, especially if it's a family member. Maybe it could be drawing strong boundaries. Maybe it could be cutting the relationship back significantly. If it is a romantic partner, which I'm leaning more towards the romantic partner, because I'm getting the feeling that you are deciding whether you should pack up and move on, and cut the relationship off and move on forward and go on your way, right? But that's why you're not happy, because that was the question. You feel stuck. You're stuck. You haven't made the decision, because you realize that there's going to be a lot of changes that are going to come, at in whatever decision that you make, right? And especially if you've been with somebody a long time and you decide that the relationship is over and your heart is broken, you don't have any idea what the future holds. But I just looked at the bottom of the deck, and you have the Magician card. So the Magician card is about manifestation. So new things are going to manifest if you walk away from this relationship. New relationships will come in. Once you clear out the old, the new can come in, and you can manifest the kind of relationships that you want. So that is a very hopeful way to end on this reading. You're not happy because you're stuck. You're stuck in a situation that you don't like. You don't want to be there anymore. You're ready to move on. It's breaking your heart, and it could break the other person's heart, but you're ready to move on and you want to walk away. And I am feeling it's more romantic than it is other relationships. But if there is a very significant relationship, like a best friend or something, and they've become just too toxic for you, or you've grown apart, I mean, it is heartbreaking. So if it resonates with you, then it is for you. But my feeling is this is about a romantic relationship. But the good news is you can create the kind of relationship that will make you happy, because that's at the bottom of the deck. And that's why you're not happy right now, because you feel stuck. And it's breaking your heart to move on, or you've already had your heart broken, but it's going to shake up the whole unit. Maybe you have children with this person and you're heartbroken for them, but there's already heartbreak here. Your heart has already been broken. And now it's just, what are you going to do with it? And that's why you've been feeling not happy. All right. Well, I hope that helps. Let me know your thoughts. If you are feeling this way, share. I would love to hear you share with me if you feel comfortable. And whatever it is that you do decide to do, I wish you lots of luck, and everything's going to work out. The Magician card. Everything's going to work out for your highest good. So remember that. All right. See you next time. Bye.